Uh, Thank you for Saranchur and also thank you for everybody. My name is Yoshiyuki Imamura. I have become a professor in the Yamaguchi University just the April of this year. And I'm the last speaker, but I hope not the least speaker. And actually, Saranchua gave me a kind of the contradictory request. Yesterday, I was not here, but as she mentioned, Mr. Matsura mentioned about it. So I added the one slide this morning in my presentation. But she requested me just at the beginning of this session, she requested us to shorten our presentation. So it's quite challenging, but I will do my best. My specialty is flood risk management or disaster risk management, which is different from water quality. And I worked for the ministry in Japan for many years. And also, until recently, I worked for the World Bank as a water resource specialist. And I worked as she mentioned, I worked at the UNESCO for 5 years. That is the reason she invited me to join this session, and she requested me to contribute to this symposium. And as she mentioned, Mr. Matsura talked about my dissertation, which includes not just the disaster risk management, but also the water quality or production or energy, all the aspect. And I will talk about the why do I join this symposium, although my specialty is different from this topic. And I'll talk about what I can contribute to this symposium. So I try to find the relationship between the two management. And I thought both should be managed at the river basin or scale, and also both are necessary for sustainable development. And if flooding occurs, it deteriorates the water quality. And I was engaged in the river management in Japan, and our management includes not just the flood risk management but also the water quality management. And our river law includes those three objectives, including the environmental conservation. But through the discussion of this symposium, I think that this would be the key point. Sustainable water cycle management. Water is not stay in the one place. It's moving always. And aspect of the quantity and quality is quite important. So we have to have the healthy and sustainable water cycle. That would be the linkage of the two issues. I'll talk about the experience of the flood risk management in Japan, which would give the implication for the water quality issues. About 20 years ago, I studied at the Cambridge University, and my classmates came from all over the world, or many countries, and they asked me, what is Japan like? Of course, that is in terms of the geography, because I was in the Department of Geography, and I said it's a kind of the combination of the Switzerland and Netherlands. As you know, it's upstream in the Rhine River basins. This is not just a topography and the nature. Topography and the nature, which is, builds the technology and the society and the culture. As you know, the Switzerland and Netherlands has been well developed in Europe. And this challenging nature gives our nation also gives a kind of the challenge, and also gives a kind of driving force for the development. So the building the resilient society is the foundation for the sustainable development. Now, Kyoto and Japan is in typhoon is hitting to our areas, but every year Japan suffers typhoon or disasters. Especially just after the World War II, 1952, thousands of people were killed by one disaster. This is in Nagoya area in central Japan. But that is not just in Japan. For example, in the year of the 1953, Netherlands is also suffered a storm surge. It's a lowland country, and thousands of people are killed. And after that, both countries to try to make a protection for those vulnerability, and it led to the development of those countries. And also, as I mentioned, Japan, Japan is similar to the Switzerland because over the 70% of the land cover is covered by the mountain. So this is how the Japanese river is so steep. The red circle shows the Japanese rivers, and this is quite steep compared to the river like Rhine River. As you see, how can I point? Okay, this is Japanese. This is the Japanese river, and this green color is the Rhine River, and this part is Switzerland, and the middle part is the border between the Germany and France, and the bottom part is the Netherlands. And Japan has only the steep part and the very flat part. Yeah. Therefore, Japan has a three disaster vulnerability. Japan is located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, like many other countries like in Indonesia or Philippines or so on. So it has a geographical vulnerability, and also it's located in the Asian monsoon region. Therefore, we hit by the heavy rains and also typhoons. This is a hydrometeorological vulnerability. And our country is highly economically developed in the lowland area, like fluvial floodplains and coastal zones. This makes a socio-economic vulnerability. This is a past picture, but even now, I just received the news that one of the major river is flooding in Japan, although we have made the effort. And this graph shows how the Japanese lowland area is vulnerable. Only the 10% of the land area is lowland area, but the half of the population live in such a high risk area, and around the 3/4 of the asset is located there. Okay, I'll talk about the history of the flood risk management in Japan. I skip this slide. Okay. Yeah, this is maps in Tokyo area. This is late 19th century. Only that this area was developed. And after that, the major flood risk management work, that is constructions, diversion channel was made. And also those urban area has been expanded and expanded. This leads to the development of the Tokyo area, and now Tokyo is the largest megacity in the world, and that is lead to the growth of the Japan. However, as we know that this development lead to the issue of the water quality or water pollutant. So we have to look at both issues for the sustainable development. And I skip this slide. And I will talk about the integrated aspect of the management. So, flood risk management should look at the river basin scale from the upstream to the downstream. But if we look at some measures like the multi-purpose reservoirs, this is not just for the protection for the flooding and water resource management, but also this reservoir provides water for the conservation of the environment. And also there is a gauging station. The gauging station is not just monitoring the water level or water flow, but also the quality of the water is also monitored through the river beds. And also to reduce the flooding water to the rivers, we construct the multi-purpose retarding beds. This also affects the water quality to the rivers and the river basins. So what we learn from here is, water quality management also should be made at the river basin or scale. And this is one example. This is a multi-purpose reservoir located in the Saitama. It's near Tokyo. This is the Arakawa River, and at the time of the flooding, that this space is used to store the flooding water and to reduce water level in the downstream. And this reservoir is used for the water resources. At the time of the drought, this water is used for the drinking water. And also, this area is conserves the environment. And also, provision of the water is help to maintain the water quality of the river. So this multi-purpose reservoir contribute to not just the flood risk management, but also the water quality management. I skip this slide. I skip. And this is a monitoring system for the flood risk management, but also a similar monitoring system of the water quality would be needed using advanced technologies. I skip this one. And this is an example, at the time of the typhoon, we can see like this information through the mobile phone or smartphone. So this helps for us to evacuate or escape from the risk. But however, I think the similar system could be we can build for the water quality monitoring, which help us emergency response to reduce the risk on the water quality. Yeah, I skip this one. So my conclusion is, this is an implication for the water quality management. So as I mentioned, we should consider that the water quality management also should be made at the river basin scale. And also water quality management should be evolved with the development of the society for considering the sustainability. And finally, water quality management shouldn't be just within the water quality management, but also as a sustainable water cycle management, including the flood risk management or water resource management. Those are closely linked through the river beds and also the water cycle. Thank you very much for your attention.